The letter sat on her desk like a secret she wasn't ready to face. Iris stared at the handwriting, elegant, careful, almost vulnerable. It was the 12th letter from AS in 3 months. 12 letters from a stranger she'd never met. 12 letters that knew her better than anyone in her life. "You don't have to be strong all the time," the last one said. "Sometimes, being honest about the cracks is the bravest thing you can do." She'd cried reading that. But today was different. Because this morning her billionaire CEO boss, Marcus Sullivan, walked into her tiny office with an envelope in his hand. His jaw was tight, his eyes conflicted. "Miss Monroe," he said, his voice colder than usual, "I need to speak with you now." Her stomach twisted. Was she being fired? He placed the envelope on her desk, carefully, like it might break. And that's when she saw it. The handwriting. Her breath stopped. "No. It can't be." "Stop writing to that address," he said quietly. "Effective immediately." "Why?" Her voice barely came out. He looked at her then, really looked at her, and for the first time in 8 months of working under him, she saw something she'd never seen before. Pain. "Because..." He hesitated, swallowed. "Because some things are better left unknown." And then he walked away, leaving her with a letter, leaving her with 1,000 questions, leaving her wondering, how did he know about the letters? And why did he look at her like his heart was breaking? If you're ready to uncover a love story built on secrets, written in ink, and hidden behind the coldest billionaire you've ever seen, then stay with me. Like this video, subscribe, and let's dive into a story about forbidden love, mystery, and the truth that changes everything. 6 months earlier. Iris Monroe had always believed that loneliness was louder in a crowded room. And Sullivan Enterprises was the most crowded place she'd ever worked. 300 employees, 50 floors, one CEO who never smiled, Marcus Sullivan, billionaire, untouchable, cold as the Seattle rain that never seemed to stop falling outside those floor-to-ceiling windows. She'd been hired as a junior financial analyst, a fancy title for someone who spent 12 hours a day buried in spreadsheets, double-checking numbers that no one would ever thank her for. Her desk was tucked in the back corner of the 20th floor, right next to the humming copy machine and the flickering fluorescent light that gave her headaches. No one really noticed her. And honestly, she preferred it that way. Because noticing meant questions, and questions meant explaining why a 28-year-old woman with a finance degree from a state school was working entry-level at a Fortune 500 company, why she lived alone in a studio apartment with peeling wallpaper, why she ate lunch at her desk every single day, why she looked tired. She didn't talk about her past, about the mother who'd left when she was 9, about the father who drank himself to death 3 years ago, about the student loans that still kept her up at night. She just worked until her eyes burned, worked until the office emptied, worked until she could go home, collapse on her second-hand couch, and pretend that this was enough. But it wasn't. God, it wasn't. And that's why one rainy October evening, she found herself staring at the employee newsletter pinned to the break room corkboard. Feeling isolated? Overwhelmed? Join our anonymous pen pal program. Connect with someone who understands. Write to P.O. Box 1149. All letters confidential. She almost laughed. A pen pal program? At a corporate office? It sounded ridiculous, desperate even. But when she got home that night, rain soaking through her thin jacket, keys slipping from her cold fingers, she sat down at her kitchen table, and she wrote, Dear, whoever you are, I don't really know why I'm doing this. Maybe because it's easier to be honest with a stranger than with anyone who actually knows me. I'm tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, the kind that sits in your chest and makes everything feel heavy. I work at a place where no one knows my name. I go home to an apartment that doesn't feel like home. I wake up and do it all over again, and I keep wondering, is this it? Is this all there is? I'm not looking for advice. I'm not looking for pity. I just needed to tell someone. I am. She mailed it the next morning before she could change her mind, and for 2 weeks she forgot about it entirely, until the letter came. She found it in her employee mailbox, a slim white envelope with her initials written in elegant, slanted handwriting. Her hands shook as she opened it. Dear I am, I know that feeling, the heaviness, the wondering, the waking up and going through the motions, because what else is there to do? You're not alone in that. I don't have answers for you. I don't even have answers for myself most days. But I do know this. The fact that you're still showing up, still trying, still breathing. That's not nothing, that's everything. You asked if this is all there is. I think maybe we get to decide that. Write back if you want. Or don't. Either way, I'm listening. A.S. Iris read it 3 times, then 4. Then she folded it carefully and slipped it into her purse. She didn't cry, but she wanted to, because for the first time in a long time, someone had heard her. She wrote back that night, and she assumed it was a he, based on the handwriting, wrote back 3 days later. And so it began, a correspondence between 2 strangers, 2 people who didn't know each other's faces, didn't know each other's jobs, didn't know anything except what they chose to reveal in ink on paper. And God, it was freeing. She told A.S. things she'd never told anyone, about her father's funeral where only 5 people showed up, about the panic attacks she had in the office bathroom, about the dreams she used to have, traveling, writing, living somewhere warm where the rain didn't make everything gray. And he told her things too, about the pressure of expectations, about feeling like a ghost in his own life, about wondering if anyone would care about him if he didn't have money, power, success. Sometimes I think I've built a prison, he wrote once, and I'm the only inmate. She understood that. God, she understood that. 3 months passed, 12 letters exchanged. And Iris Monroe, who hadn't smiled genuinely in over a year, found herself smiling at her kitchen table every time a new envelope arrived. She didn't know who A.S. was. She didn't know if she'd ever meet him. But she knew this. She was falling for him. Falling for his words, his honesty, his vulnerability. Falling for someone she'd never even seen. And that scared her. Because what if he wasn't real? What if this was all just a beautiful lie? But then came the morning that changed everything. She was at her desk sorting through expense reports when Marcus Sullivan walked past. He never walked past her desk. He barely acknowledged anyone on the 20th floor, but today he stopped, right in front of her. She looked up, startled. "Miss Monroe," he said, his voice flat, emotionless. "Yes, Mr. Sullivan?" He stared at her for a long moment, like he was trying to figure something out. Then he placed an envelope on her desk. Her heart stopped. It was her handwriting on the front, her letter, the one she'd mailed to P.O. Box 1149 just 2 days ago. "Stop writing to that address," he said quietly. "Effective immediately." The room tilted. I don't understand. You don't need to. His jaw tightened. Just stop. But why? Because I'm telling you to. And then he walked away, leaving her sitting there, trembling, staring at the envelope. Staring at the truth she wasn't ready to face, because if Marcus Sullivan had her letter, if he knew about the P.O. box, then that meant no, it couldn't be. He couldn't be A.S. He couldn't be the person who wrote to her about loneliness and fear and hope. He was cold, distant, heartless. Wasn't he? Iris couldn't breathe. She sat frozen at her desk, staring at the envelope Marcus Sullivan had left behind. Her envelope, her handwriting. Her words, raw, vulnerable, desperate, written to a stranger she thought she'd never meet. Except he wasn't a stranger. He was her boss. The man who walked past her every day without a glance. The man whose voice never warmed, whose expression never softened. The man everyone whispered about in the break room, cold as ice. All business doesn't have a heart. But A.S. had a heart. A.S. wrote about loneliness like he lived inside it. A.S. understood her in ways no one else ever had. And if Marcus Sullivan was A.S., her hands trembled as she opened the envelope. Inside was her own letter, the one she'd sent 3 days ago, and beneath it, folded carefully, was another piece of paper. His handwriting. I can't do this anymore. I started writing to you because I thought it would be safe. Anonymous. Just two people being honest in a world that doesn't allow honesty. But it's not safe. Not for you. Not for me. You deserve someone who can give you more than words on paper. Someone who doesn't have to hide. I'm sorry, forget me, please. A.S. Iris read it twice. Then she stood up, legs shaking, and walked straight to the elevator. She didn't care that it was 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. She didn't care that Marcus Sullivan didn't take unscheduled meetings. She didn't care that she was nobody, just a junior analyst who processed numbers in the back corner. She needed answers. The 50th floor was quiet, pristine, all glass and steel and silence. Marcus Sullivan's executive assistant, a sharp woman named Geneva, looked up from her desk with barely concealed surprise. "Miss Monroe," Geneva said carefully, "do you have an appointment?" "No." "Then I'm afraid I need to see him now." Geneva's eyebrow arched. "Mr. Sullivan is in a meeting." "I don't care." Something in Iris's voice must have registered because Geneva hesitated. Then she pressed the intercom button. "Mr. Sullivan, Miss Monroe from Financial Analysis is here. She says it's urgent." A pause. Then his voice, low and clipped. "Send her in." Geneva gestured toward the massive oak door. Iris's heart hammered as she pushed it open. Marcus Sullivan's office was exactly what she expected. Cold, minimalist, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a rain-soaked Seattle, a desk that probably cost more than her entire year's salary, and him, standing by the window, hands in his pockets, shoulders tense. He didn't turn around. "Close the door," he said. She did. Silence stretched between them like a chasm. "Why didn't you tell me?" Her voice cracked. "Because it was a mistake." "A mistake?" She stepped closer. 3 months of letters was a mistake. "Yes. You wrote to me about your loneliness, your fears. You told me things. I told a stranger things." He finally turned to face her. His expression was stone. "I didn't know it was you." That stopped her. "What?" The pen pal program was anonymous. I didn't know who I was writing to. His jaw worked. Not until 2 weeks ago. How did you find out? He looked away. Your handwriting. I saw it on an expense report you submitted. I recognized it immediately. Iris felt like the ground had disappeared beneath her. So you've known for 2 weeks that it was me? Yes. And you said nothing? What was I supposed to say? His voice was harder now, defensive. You work for me. I'm the CEO of this company. There are rules, Iris, policies, boundaries. It was the first time he'd ever used her first name. And God, the way he said it, like it hurt him. You could have told me the truth, she whispered. The truth would have made everything worse. Worse than this? She gestured between them. Worse than you pretending you don't know me. Worse than you treating me like I'm invisible while writing me letters that made me feel seen for the first time in my life. Something flickered in his eyes. Pain, maybe. Regret. You don't understand. Then help me understand. I can't. Why not? Because... He stopped, exhaled sharply, ran a hand through his hair. Because I'm your boss. Because there's a power imbalance. Because if anyone found out about this, your career would be destroyed. They'd say I manipulated you, coerced you, that you only got your job because... That's not true. It doesn't matter if it's true. It's what they'd say. He looked at her then, really looked at her, and his mask slipped just slightly. I won't do that to you. Iris felt tears burning behind her eyes. So that's it? You just decide for both of us that this ends? Yes. Even though... Her voice broke. Even though I fell for you. The words hung in the air between them. Marcus went very still. Don't, he said quietly. Don't what? Don't tell you the truth. She stepped closer. You wanted honesty in those letters. You begged for it. So here it is. I fell for you. Not Marcus Sullivan, the billionaire CEO. Not the man in the suit who terrifies everyone on every floor. I fell for AS. The person who understood what it's like to feel invisible, who made me feel like I mattered. You do matter. Then why are you pushing me away? Because I have to. His voice was raw now, barely controlled. Because you deserve better than this, better than me. That's not your choice to make. Yes, it is. He turned back to the window. Go back to work, Miss Monroe. Forget about the letters. Forget about AS. It's over. Iris stood there, trembling, tears streaming down her face. You're a coward, she whispered. He flinched, but he didn't turn around, and she realized then he wasn't going to fight for this. He was going to let her walk away. So she did. The rest of that day passed in a blur. Iris sat at her desk, staring at spreadsheets she couldn't focus on. She felt hollow, angry, heartbroken. How could he do this? How could he write to her about vulnerability and honesty and connection, and then just shut her out? She wanted to hate him, but she couldn't, because she understood. She understood the fear. The walls people built to protect themselves. The way loneliness made you push away the very thing you needed most. She'd been doing it her whole life. Maybe he had too. That night, alone in her apartment, Iris did something she knew she shouldn't. She wrote another letter. AS, you said to forget you. I can't. You said it was a mistake. Maybe it was. But some mistakes are worth making. You're scared. I get it, I'm scared too. But I'd rather be scared with you than safe and alone. You don't get to decide what I deserve. You don't get to protect me from my own choices. I'm not asking you to risk everything. I'm just asking you to be honest. One more time, please, Iris. She mailed it before she could change her mind, and then she waited. 1 day, 2 days, 3. No response. By the 4th day, she'd convinced herself he was never going to write back, that he meant what he said, that it was really over. But on the 5th day, when she checked her employee mailbox, there was an envelope. Her hands shook as she opened it. Iris, meet me. Tonight, 8 p.m., Cafe Alma, Capitol Hill. I'll be in the back corner. If you don't come, I'll understand, but I hope you do. Marcus, not A.S. Marcus. He'd signed his real name. And suddenly, Iris couldn't breathe. Because this was real now. Not hidden behind initials. Not safe behind anonymity. Real. And terrifying. And exactly what she wanted. Cafe Alma smelled like rain and roasted coffee. Iris stood outside the door at 7:53 p.m., her heart pounding so hard she thought it might break through her ribs. She'd changed her outfit 3 times. A dress felt too formal, jeans felt too casual. She'd settled on black pants and a soft grey sweater, simple, safe, forgettable. Except she didn't want to be forgettable tonight. She wanted to be seen, really seen, the way A.S. and Marcus had seen her in those letters. She pushed open the door. The cafe was warm, dimly lit, half empty on a Thursday night. Soft jazz played from speakers she couldn't see. A barista wiped down the counter, barely glancing up. And there in the back corner, exactly where he said he'd be, Marcus Sullivan. But he didn't look like the CEO she knew. No suit, no tie, just a dark Henley jeans, his hair slightly disheveled, like he'd been running his hands through it. He was staring at a cup of coffee he hadn't touched, his jaw tight, his shoulders tense. He looked human, vulnerable. Nothing like the man who commanded boardrooms and terrified employees with a single glance. Iris's breath caught. He looked up. Their eyes met, and for a moment neither of them moved. Then Marcus stood slowly, like he wasn't sure if she was real. "You came," he said quietly. "You asked me to. I thought..." He hesitated. "I thought maybe you'd changed your mind." "I almost did." She walked toward him, each step feeling heavier than the last. About 6 times on the way here. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. "Only 6? Give or take." She sat down across from him. He sat back down too, carefully, like the chair might break. Silence settled between them, not comfortable, not easy, but charged with everything they'd written to each other and everything they hadn't said. "I ordered you a tea," Marcus said finally, nodding toward the cup in front of her. "Chamomile. You mentioned it once. In a letter. You said it helped you sleep." Iris stared at the cup. He remembered. "Thank you," she whispered. He nodded. More silence. Iris wrapped her hands around the warm ceramic, needing something to hold on to. "I don't know how to do this," she admitted. "Neither do I." In the letters, it was easier. Because we couldn't see each other's faces. Marcus looked down at his coffee. "We couldn't see the fear." "Are you afraid right now?" Terrified. The honesty in his voice broke something open inside her. "Me too," she said. He looked at her then, really looked at her, and she saw it. The same loneliness she'd felt for years, the same exhaustion, the same desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, someone could understand. "I'm sorry," Marcus said, "for how I handled things, for shutting you out, for—" "Why did you start writing in the first place?" Iris interrupted. "You're Marcus Sullivan, billionaire CEO. You could have anyone. Why a pen pal program?" He was quiet for a long moment. Then he laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "Because no one wants Marcus Sullivan," he said. "They want the money, the status, the connections, but me, the person underneath all that." He shook his head. "I'm invisible too." Iris's throat tightened. "I started the program 2 years ago," Marcus continued, "after my father died, after I took over the company, after I realized I'd spent my entire life building something and had no one to share it with." He met her eyes. "I wanted to talk to someone who didn't know who I was, someone who wouldn't want something from me, someone who'd just listen. And you found that with me." "I did." His voice softened. "You were the first person in years who made me feel like I wasn't alone." Iris felt tears prickling her eyes. "You did the same for me." They sat there, two lonely people in a quiet cafe, finally facing each other. "I read your letters every night," Marcus admitted. "Sometimes twice. I kept them in my desk drawer, locked, like they were precious." "I kept yours under my pillow," Iris whispered, "so they'd be close." Something shifted in his expression. Want, need, fear, all tangled together. "This is dangerous," he said. "I know. If anyone finds out, I know. Your job, my reputation, the company." "Marcus," she reached across the table, her hand hovering just inches from his. "I know." He stared at her hand, then slowly, like he was breaking every rule he'd ever set for himself, he closed the distance. His fingers brushed hers, warm, rough, trembling slightly. "And God, it felt like everything. I can't promise this will work," he said quietly. "I can't promise I won't mess this up. I'm not asking for promises." "Then what are you asking for?" Iris looked at him, at this man who'd written her letters filled with vulnerability and truth, who'd made her feel less alone, who was sitting here now, terrified and honest and human. "Just a chance," she said, "to see if what we had in those letters is real." Marcus's hand tightened around hers. "It's real," he said, his voice rough. "God, Iris, it's real. That's what scares me." "Then let's be scared together." He searched her face like he was memorizing every detail. Then he nodded. "Okay. Okay? One chance." His thumb traced circles on the back of her hand. "But we do this carefully, slowly. No one at work can know, not yet." "Agreed. And if at any point you feel uncomfortable, if you feel like I'm using my position, I'll tell you. Promise me." "I promise." He exhaled, some of the tension leaving his shoulders. "I can't believe this is happening," he murmured. "Which part? The part where you're my boss? Or the part where we fell for each other through letters?" "Both." A real smile touched his lips then, small, hesitant, but genuine. "Mostly the part where you're sitting here, with me, after everything. Where else would I be? Anywhere. You could be anywhere." His voice dropped. "Why did you choose here?" Iris felt her heart swell. "Because you asked me to," she said simply. "Because even when I was angry at you, even when you hurt me, I couldn't stop hoping you'd be brave enough to ask." Marcus's eyes darkened with emotion. "I don't deserve you. Stop saying that. It's true." "No." Iris squeezed his hand. "What's true is that we found each other. In the middle of all our loneliness and fear and walls, we found each other. That's not about deserving. That's about connection. Real connection. He stared at her like she'd just said something profound, like she'd just saved him. "I want to kiss you," he said suddenly. "Right here, right now, in front of everyone." Iris's breath hitched. "But I won't," he continued, voice strained, "because we agreed. Carefully, slowly." "Carefully and slowly," she repeated, even though every part of her wanted the opposite. "But someday," Marcus said, his eyes never leaving hers, "someday I'm going to kiss you the way you deserve to be kissed. And I'm not going to hide it, not from anyone." Heat flooded through her. That's a bold promise from a man who just said he can't make promises. "It's not a promise." His grip on her hand tightened. "It's a certainty." They stayed at that cafe until it closed, talking, really talking, not as CEO and employee, not as AS and IM, but as Marcus and Iris, two people trying to figure out how to navigate something impossible. He told her about his childhood, the boarding schools, the absent mother, the father who'd only ever seen him as an heir, never a son. She told him about her father's funeral, about being 25 and completely alone, about the student loans that still kept her up at night. He told her about the pressure of running a billion-dollar company at 35, about the loneliness of always having to be perfect, about the fear that if he ever showed weakness, everything would crumble. She told him about the panic attacks, about the nights she cried herself to sleep, about the dreams she'd given up on, writing novels, living somewhere she didn't feel invisible. They talked until their coffee went cold, until the barista started stacking chairs, until there was nothing left to say except good night. Outside, the rain had stopped. The streets were slick and shining under the streetlights. Marcus walked her to her car, a beat-up Honda Civic that sputtered when it started. "This is you?" he asked, trying not to smile. "Don't judge my car." "I'm not judging, I'm just surprised it runs. It has character. It has duct tape holding the side mirror on." "Character?" Iris insisted, laughing. And God, it felt good to laugh. Marcus leaned against her car door, hands in his pockets, looking at her like she was something rare. "Thank you," he said, "for coming tonight, for giving me a chance. Thank you for asking. Can I see you again?" "When?" "Tomorrow," she smiled. "That's not very slow." "I know." He stepped closer, just slightly, his voice dropping. "But now that I've seen you like this, without the office between us, I don't think I can wait long." Iris's heart raced. "Tomorrow," she agreed, "but somewhere different, somewhere no one from work will see us. I know a place." "Where?" "Do you trust me?" She looked at him, at this man who'd been her boss, her pen pal, her secret. "Yes," she whispered, "I think I do." Something fierce and tender crossed his face. "Tomorrow, then. I'll text you the address. You don't have my number." "Yes, I do." He pulled out his phone, showing her the screen. Her contact info was already there. "How HR database," he admitted. "I know, ethical gray area, but I wanted to be able to reach you, just in case." She should have been upset, but she wasn't, because she understood. The fear of losing something precious before you even had it. "Tomorrow," she said again. He nodded. Then, before she could second-guess it, Iris stood on her toes and pressed a soft kiss to his cheek. Marcus went very still. When she pulled back, his eyes were dark, his breathing uneven. "Carefully and slowly," she reminded him with a small smile. "You're killing me," he murmured. "Good." She got into her car, started the engine, which sputtered twice before catching, and drove away. In her rearview mirror, she saw him still standing there, watching her go. His hand pressed to the spot where she'd kissed him, and for the first time in years, Iris Monroe felt something she'd almost forgotten: hope. Marcus's text came at 6:47 a.m. Discovery Park, South Entrance, 10 a.m. Wear comfortable shoes. Iris stared at her phone, still half asleep, her heart already racing. A park. Public, but private. Crowded enough to blend in, empty enough to talk. Smart. She typed back, "I'll be there." 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared. Then appeared again. Finally, "I haven't slept. Been thinking about you all night." Her breath caught. She shouldn't respond, shouldn't encourage this. They'd agreed to be careful, but her fingers moved anyway. "Me too." Another pause. Then, "This is dangerous. I know. I can't stop. Don't." She watched the dots appear and disappear 3 more times before his next message came. "See you at 10. Iris set her phone down, her hands trembling. This was insane. Dating her boss, secretly. Knowing that if anyone found out, her career would be over, that people would assume things, that they'd say she slept her way into his attention. But when she thought about walking away, about never seeing him again, her chest ached, because it wasn't about the power or the money, it was about the letters, about the person who'd understood her loneliness, about Marcus, not the CEO, but the man who'd been brave enough to be vulnerable. That was worth the risk, wasn't it? Discovery Park was beautiful. Miles of trails winding through forest and meadow overlooking Puget Sound. The morning was cool, the sky that soft gray that Seattle wore like a second skin. Iris found Marcus waiting by the south entrance, wearing jeans and a navy jacket, hands shoved in his pockets. He looked nervous. "Hi," she said. "Hi." He smiled, that small, hesitant smile that made him look younger. "You came. You doubted me?" "Every second until I saw you." They started walking, not touching. Just 2 people on a trail surrounded by joggers and dog walkers and families. Anonymous. Safe. "I love this place," Marcus said after a moment. "I come here when I need to think, when the office feels like it's suffocating me." "How often is that?" "More than I'd like to admit." They walked in comfortable silence for a while, the sound of gravel crunching beneath their feet. "Can I ask you something?" Iris said. "Anything. In one of your letters you wrote about feeling like a ghost in your own life. What did you mean?" Marcus was quiet for so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, "My father built Sullivan Enterprises from nothing, worked himself to death doing it. Literally. Heart attack at 62 at his desk in the middle of a board meeting. He kicked at a loose stone. Everyone said I was just like him, driven, focused, successful. But I didn't want to be like him." His voice was rough. "I wanted a life outside the office. I wanted relationships that weren't transactional. I wanted to be someone's first choice, not their strategic investment." Iris's heart squeezed. "And instead I became exactly what everyone expected. The cold CEO, the workaholic, the man who has everything and feels nothing." He looked at her. "Until I started writing to you. What changed? You didn't expect anything from me. You didn't want my money or my influence. You just listened. And you shared your own pain. He stopped walking, turning to face her. For the first time in years, I felt seen, not as Marcus Sullivan, billionaire, but as a person. Iris's throat tightened. "I felt the same way," she whispered, like someone finally understood. They stood there, inches apart, the world moving around them. Marcus's hand twitched, like he wanted to reach for her, but was holding himself back. "This is harder than I thought it would be," he admitted. "What is?" "Being near you and not being able to—" He trailed off, jaw working. "Carefully and slowly," Iris reminded him, even though her own restraint was crumbling. "Right." He exhaled sharply. "Carefully and slowly." They kept walking. An hour passed, then 2. They talked about everything. His work stress, her dreams of writing, his complicated relationship with his younger sister who lived in London, her best friend from college who'd moved to Denver and barely called anymore. They bought coffee from a food cart, sat on a bench overlooking the water, and slowly, carefully, their hands found each other. Fingers intertwining, palms pressed together, such a simple thing. But it felt monumental. "I have a confession," Marcus said, staring out at the grey water. "What?" "I've been watching you at work. For months. Since before the letters." Iris's eyes widened. "What?" "Not in a creepy way," he added quickly. "Just noticing you. You always ate lunch at your desk. Always stayed late. You had this look on your face sometimes when you thought no one was watching, like you were carrying something heavy. And you noticed that?" "I notice everything about you, Iris." He turned to look at her. "The way you bite your lip when you're concentrating. The way you tuck your hair behind your ear when you're nervous. The way you smile, really smile, when you think something's actually funny." Her breath hitched. "I thought you didn't even know my name." "I knew your name." His voice dropped. "I knew everything about you that I could learn without actually talking to you, which is why when I saw your handwriting on that expense report, I knew immediately, and I panicked." "Why?" "Because suddenly you weren't just I am, the person I could be vulnerable with anonymously. You were Iris Monroe, the woman I'd been watching from afar for months, the woman who made me feel things I wasn't supposed to feel." He squeezed her hand. "And I didn't know what to do with that." Iris felt dizzy. "You should have told me." "I know. You let me think you were some stranger." "I was a stranger. That was the point." He looked away. "But then, it stopped being about anonymity. It started being about you, and that terrified me." "Why?" "Because I'm your boss, Iris, because there are rules. Because if I pursue this, if I pursue you, people will talk. They'll say I manipulated you, that you're only with me for advancement or money or... I don't care what people say. You should." His voice was firm now, almost stern. "Your reputation matters. Your career matters. I won't let you sacrifice that for me. That's my choice to make. Is it? When I'm the one with all the power?" Iris pulled her hand away, frustrated. "You don't get it, do you?" "Get what?" "You're so worried about the power imbalance, about protecting me, that you're not listening to what I actually want." She stood up, pacing. "I'm not some helpless employee who needs saving. I'm a grown woman making a conscious choice. Yes, you're my boss. Yes, this is complicated, but I'm choosing to be here anyway." Marcus stared at her. "You don't understand what you'd be risking." "Stop telling me what I understand." Her voice rose, then cracked. "God, Marcus, I've spent my entire life feeling powerless, feeling like I don't have a choice, and now, for the first time, I'm choosing something for myself. Something that makes me happy, And you're trying to take that away from me because you're scared. Silence, heavy and loaded. Marcus stood slowly, his expression unreadable. "You're right," he said quietly. Iris blinked. "What?" "You're right. I'm scared." He stepped closer. "I'm terrified that I'll hurt you, that this will blow up and destroy everything you've worked for, that people will look at you differently because of me. Then let's be careful. Let's be smart about this. We can't date publicly, not while you work for me. I know. We can't be seen together outside of work contexts. I know. And if at any point this affects your job, your promotions, your opportunities, I'll tell you." Iris reached for his hand again. "But you have to trust me to make my own decisions, even the risky ones." Marcus looked down at their joined hands. "I've never done this before," he admitted. "What? Dated someone? Dated someone I actually care about?" His eyes met hers, raw and honest. "Everyone I've been with wanted something from me. My money, my connections, my name. But you just want me. Is that so hard to believe?" "Yes." His voice broke slightly. "Because I'm not sure there's much of me left to want." Iris's heart shattered. She stepped closer, close enough to feel his warmth, close enough to see the vulnerability in his eyes. "Then let me show you," she whispered. "Let me show you what I see when I look at you." "What do you see?" "Someone brave enough to admit he's lonely. Someone kind enough to write letters to a stranger. Someone who makes me feel less alone in this world." She squeezed his hand. "That's who you are, Marcus. Not the CEO. Not the billionaire. You." He stared at her like she'd just given him something precious. Then slowly, he raised his hand to her face, cupping her cheek. "If we do this," he said softly, "there's no going back. I don't want to go back." His thumb traced her cheekbone. "Neither do I." And in that moment, standing in a public park surrounded by strangers who didn't know them, didn't care about them, they made a choice, a dangerous, impossible, beautiful choice, to try. 3 weeks passed like a dream wrapped in secrecy. They met in hidden places, coffee shops on the outskirts of the city, hiking trails where no one from Sullivan Enterprises would ever venture. His car, parked in empty lots after dark, where they talked for hours with the rain drumming against the windows. At work, they were strangers. Marcus walked past her desk without a glance. His voice in meetings was professional, distant. If anything, he was harder on her than before, critiquing her reports, questioning her analysis, pushing her to do better. And Iris understood why. Overcompensation, protection. If anyone suspected favoritism, it would destroy everything. So she played her part too, kept her head down, worked harder than ever, stayed late, left early, never lingered near his office. But God, it was torture. Seeing him every day and not being able to touch him, hearing his voice in conference calls and remembering how it sounded when he whispered her name, watching him command a room full of executives and knowing that later, in the dark privacy of his car, he'd hold her hand and tell her about his fears. They were living 2 lives, and it was exhausting. "I hate this," Iris said one night, curled up in the passenger seat of his Mercedes, parked behind an abandoned warehouse near the waterfront. Marcus looked over at her. "Hate what?" "Pretending. At work. Acting like I don't know you." "I know." His hand found hers in the darkness. "But it's necessary." "For how long?" He was quiet. "Marcus, For how long? I don't know. His voice was strained. Until we figure out a solution. What solution? I can't quit. I need this job. The salary, the health insurance, the experience. I'm not asking you to quit. Then what? We just keep hiding forever? No. God, no. He ran his free hand through his hair, frustrated. I'm working on something, a way to make this legitimate. What does that mean? It means I'm talking to HR, quietly, about policies, about what happens when employees date, about transfer options, lateral moves. You want to transfer me? Not transfer. Promote. He turned to face her fully. There's an opening in the marketing department. Senior analyst position. Same floor, different chain of command. You wouldn't report to me anymore. Wouldn't even be in my division. Iris's heart stuttered. You're serious? I've been working on it for 2 weeks, talking to the department head, reviewing your qualifications, making sure it's legitimate. His eyes were intense. If you take that position, we wouldn't be breaking any company policies. We could date. Publicly. But people would still talk. Let them. His grip on her hand tightened. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of hiding you. Tears pricked Iris's eyes. When? The position opens next month. I can recommend you. Your work speaks for itself. This isn't charity, Iris. You're qualified, overqualified, honestly. And if I get it, then we can stop hiding. He brought her hand to his lips, pressing a soft kiss to her knuckles. Then I can take you to dinner. Hold your hand in public. Introduce you as my girlfriend instead of my employee. Girlfriend. The word hung between them, warm and terrifying. Is that what I am? Iris whispered. Your girlfriend. Marcus's eyes softened. If you want to be. Do you want me to be? Iris. He leaned closer, his voice dropping. I've wanted you to be mine since the 3rd letter you sent me. The one where you wrote about feeling invisible. I read that line. Sometimes I wonder if I disappeared, would anyone even notice? And I wanted to tell you that I'd notice. That you were already the most visible person in my world. Her breath caught. You never told me that. I couldn't. Not then. His forehead touched hers. But I'm telling you now, you're not invisible. Not to me. Not ever. Iris closed her eyes, letting his words sink in. I want this, she said finally. The promotion, the public relationship, all of it. Are you sure? Yes. She pulled back to look at him. But I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me this promotion is real. That I earned it. That you're not just creating a position to justify being with me. I promise. His voice was firm. You've earned this, Iris. I've watched you work. You're brilliant. Underutilized. That marketing position is perfect for you, and they'd be lucky to have you. She searched his face, looking for any hint of doubt. Found none. Okay, she breathed. Then let's do it. Marcus smiled, a real, full smile that transformed his entire face. Yeah? Yeah. He kissed her then. Not carefully, not slowly, but deeply, desperately, like he'd been holding back for weeks and couldn't anymore. And Iris kissed him back, pouring every unspoken word, every hidden touch, every moment of longing into it. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Marcus pressed his forehead to hers. 1 month, he murmured. 1 month and we can stop hiding. I can wait 1 month. Can you? His lips quirked. Because I'm barely surviving now. She laughed softly. We've made it 3 weeks. Longest 3 weeks of my life. Dramatic. Honest. He kissed her again, softer this time. You have no idea what it does to me seeing you at work and not being able to touch you. I think I have some idea. Her fingers traced his jaw. It's torture. Beautiful torture. They sat there in the dark car, wrapped around each other, the city lights blinking in the distance. And for the first time since this started, Iris let herself believe that maybe this could work, that maybe they could have something real, that maybe... Marcus's phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again and again. You should check that, Iris said reluctantly. He sighed, pulling it out. His expression changed immediately. What is it? My sister. His voice was tight. She's in Seattle. At my apartment, unannounced. Is everything okay? I don't know. She just says it's urgent. He looked at Iris, torn. I'm sorry. I have to... go. She squeezed his hand. Family first. I'll call you later. You better. He kissed her one more time, quick, sweet, promising, then drove her back to her car. As she watched him drive away, Iris felt a strange unease settle in her chest. She didn't know why, just a feeling, like something was about to shift. The next morning at work, everything felt different. Whispers followed Iris down the hallway. People stared. Her desk phone rang twice before 9 a.m., both times from HR asking her to call back, and Marcus's office door was closed all morning. Something was wrong. At 10:47 a.m., Geneva appeared at Iris's desk. Mr. Sullivan needs to see you, she said, her voice carefully neutral. Now. Iris's stomach dropped. Is everything... Just go. The elevator ride to the 50th floor felt endless. When she entered Marcus's office, he was standing by the window, his back to her. His shoulders were tense, his hands clenched at his sides. Close the door, he said. She did. Silence. Marcus, what's going on? He turned slowly, and the look on his face made her blood run cold. Someone knows, he said quietly. What? Someone saw us last night in my car. Iris's world tilted. Who? I don't know yet, but they sent photos to HR. Anonymous email, time-stamped, detailed. His jaw worked. They're calling it a hostile work environment, claiming I'm abusing my position, that you're... He stopped, his expression pained. That I'm what? Her voice was shaking. That you're sleeping with me for career advancement. The words hit like a physical blow. No. Iris shook her head. No, we haven't even... We've been careful. Not careful enough. Marcus's voice was hollow. HR is opening an investigation. They want to interview both of us separately. They're reviewing your employment file, your performance reviews, looking for any sign of favoritism. But there isn't any. You've been harder on me than anyone. They don't care. He looked at her, his eyes full of anguish. Iris, they're talking about termination for both of us. The room spun. They can't... I didn't do anything wrong. I know. He stepped toward her, then stopped himself. God, I know. This is my fault. I should have been more careful. I should have... Don't. Her voice cracked. Don't do that. This is exactly what I was afraid of. His hands fisted. This is why I tried to push you away, because I knew this would happen. Marcus, You're going to lose your job because of me. We don't know that. Yes, we do. He looked broken. And I can't let that happen. Something cold settled in Iris's chest. What are you saying? Marcus met her eyes, and she saw the decision there before he even spoke. I'm saying we need to end this, now publicly, before the investigation goes further. No. Iris, no. She stepped toward him. We're not doing this again. You're not pushing me away to protect me. I'm not protecting you. I'm saving your career. His voice was hard now, desperate. If we end this now, if I take full responsibility, say I pursued you inappropriately, that you rejected me, that's a lie. It's the only way to clear your name. I don't care about my name. Tears were streaming down her face now. I care about you, then care about your future. His voice broke. Please, Iris, let me do this. Let me take the fall. And what? You lose everything? I can survive it. You can't. She stared at him, heart shattering. You promised, she whispered. You promised we'd figure this out together. I was wrong. He looked away. Some things can't be fixed. And in that moment, Iris understood. He wasn't just protecting her, he was terrified. Terrified of fighting for something and losing. Terrified of being the reason she got hurt. Terrified of choosing love over safety. You're a coward, she said, her voice breaking. Marcus flinched like she'd struck him. Maybe I am. Iris turned toward the door, tears blurring her vision. Iris, wait. No. She looked back at him one last time. You want to give up? Fine. But don't pretend it's for me. This is about you being too afraid to fight. And she walked out, leaving him standing there, alone. The investigation took 2 weeks. 2 weeks of hell. Iris was placed on administrative leave, paid but humiliating. She wasn't allowed in the building, wasn't allowed to contact anyone from her department. Just had to sit at home, waiting, while strangers rifled through her emails and performance reviews looking for evidence of corruption, looking for proof that she'd slept her way into Marcus Sullivan's attention. She didn't hear from him, not once. No calls, no texts, no letters, just silence. And that hurt worse than anything HR could do to her, because it meant he'd actually done it. He'd chosen to protect himself instead of fighting for them. Iris spent those 2 weeks in a fog. She barely ate, barely slept, just sat in her apartment, staring at the letters he'd written her, trying to reconcile the man who'd written those words with the man who'd let her walk away. You don't have to be strong all the time. Sometimes being honest about the cracks is the bravest thing you can do. Lies, all of it. Because when it mattered most, he'd chosen safety over honesty. On day 9, her best friend Maya called from Denver. I'm coming to Seattle, Maya announced. You don't have to. Too late, already booked the flight. I'm not letting you go through this alone. And true to her word, Maya showed up 36 hours later with wine, takeout, and a fierce determination to make Iris talk. Tell me everything, Maya said, settling onto Iris's couch. So Iris did. The letters, the cafe, the hiding, the investigation, all of it. When she finished, Maya was quiet for a long moment. He's an idiot, she said finally. That's your professional assessment? That's my human assessment. Maya squeezed her hand. He fell for you. Real, messy, complicated love. And instead of fighting for it, he ran. He thinks he's protecting me. By breaking your heart? Maya shook her head. That's not protection, babe, that's fear. Iris knew she was right, but knowing didn't make it hurt less. On day 14, HR called. Iris sat in a sterile conference room across from two stone-faced representatives and a company lawyer. "Miss Monroe," the lead investigator began, "we've completed our review." Her heart hammered. "And?" "We found no evidence of favoritism, coercion, or quid pro quo in your employment relationship with Mr. Sullivan." Relief flooded through her. "So I'm cleared?" "Yes. However," the investigator paused, "we did find evidence of a personal relationship that violated company fraternization policy." Iris's stomach sank. "What does that mean?" "It means you have two options. You can accept a transfer to our Vancouver office, effective immediately. Same position, same salary. Or you can resign with a severance package and a neutral reference. Those are my options. Leave Seattle or leave the company." "I'm afraid so." Iris wanted to scream, to fight, to demand justice. But what was the point? She'd already lost everything that mattered. "What about Marcus?" she asked quietly. "What happens to him?" The investigator's expression was carefully blank. "Mr. Sullivan's situation is being handled separately. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I can give you." Iris stood, hands shaking. "I need time to think. You have 48 hours. She walked out of that building, feeling numb. Vancouver or unemployment. Those were her choices. All because she'd fallen for someone who'd been too afraid to fight back. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Rooftop garden, Sullivan Building. Tonight, 9 p.m. Please come." Monsieur Iris stared at the message. He had some nerve. After 2 weeks of silence, he thought he could just summon her. She should ignore it, block the number, move on with her life. But even now, even angry and hurt and broken, she wanted answers. She wanted to hear him say it to her face, that he'd given up, that she hadn't been worth fighting for. So at 8:55 p.m., Iris found herself in the elevator of Sullivan Enterprises, riding up to the rooftop garden she didn't even know existed. The doors opened, and her breath caught. The rooftop was transformed. String lights hung between potted trees. Candles flickered on every surface. And in the center of it all, looking wrecked and desperate, and nothing like the polished CEO she'd once known, Marcus. He turned when he heard her approach. "You came," he breathed. "I shouldn't have." "I know." He took a step toward her, then stopped. "Thank you." "What is this, Marcus? What do you want?" "To apologize. To explain. To..." His voice cracked. "To tell you the truth. I think I've heard enough of your truth." "No, you haven't." He pulled something from his jacket pocket. "An envelope. I wrote you a letter after you left my office, after I watched you walk away and realized what an idiot I'd been." He held it out. Iris didn't take it. "I don't want another letter. I want you to actually fight for something." "I am fighting." His eyes were desperate. "I've been fighting for 2 weeks. While you were on leave, I was meeting with lawyers, with the board, with HR, fighting to find a way to clear your name without destroying your career. By lying? By saying you pursued me inappropriately? I never said that." He stepped closer. "I told them the truth, that we developed feelings for each other through an anonymous pen pal program, that when I discovered your identity, I tried to end it because I knew it was complicated, that you pursued me anyway. You threw me under the bus. No, I gave you agency. His voice was firm now. I told them you made your own choice, that you're not some helpless employee who got manipulated. You're a strong, intelligent woman who knew exactly what she was doing. Iris's breath hitched. Why? Because it's the truth, and because I was tired of trying to protect you from yourself. He ran a hand through his hair. You were right. I was a coward. I was so afraid of hurting you that I hurt you anyway by pushing you away. What changed? I read your letters again, every single one, and I realized something. His eyes met hers. You've been fighting your whole life. Fighting to survive, to succeed, to be seen, and I took that away from you by making decisions without you. Tears burned in Iris's eyes. I resigned, Marcus said quietly. Her heart stopped. What? This morning. I resigned as CEO of Sullivan Enterprises, effective in 30 days. Marcus, no, it's done. He smiled sadly. The board's naming my CFO as interim CEO. I'm staying on as a consultant for the transition, but I'm stepping down from leadership. Why would you do that? Because I don't want to be CEO anymore. His voice was raw, honest. I've spent 15 years building something I don't even believe in, playing a role that was never really me, and the only time I've felt like myself, like a real person, was with you. Iris couldn't breathe. Once I'm no longer CEO, we're not violating any policies. You can come back to work, keep your job, your career, everything. He stepped closer. And I can finally do what I should have done from the beginning. What's that? Fight for you. He was right in front of her now. Fight for us. Publicly. Honestly. Without fear. You gave up everything. No. He cupped her face gently. I gave up a title, a position, things that never made me happy anyway. His thumb brushed away her tears. But if I lose you, that's everything. Iris closed her eyes, overwhelmed. I'm still angry at you. You should be. You hurt me. I know. And I'm sorry. God, Iris, I'm so sorry. His forehead touched hers. But if you give me another chance, I swear I'll spend the rest of my life proving that you're worth fighting for. She opened her eyes, looked at this man who'd finally chosen bravery over fear. What happens now? Now. A small smile touched his lips. Now I take you to dinner. A real dinner at a real restaurant where everyone can see us. And I tell anyone who asks that you're the woman I love. Her heart stopped. You love me? I've loved you since the 4th letter. His voice was steady, certain. When you wrote about your father's funeral, about standing there alone, wondering if you mattered, and I wanted to tell you that you mattered to me, that you'd already changed everything. Iris couldn't speak. You don't have to say it back, Marcus continued. I just needed you to know. But she did say it, because it was true. I love you too. His eyes closed, relief washing over his face. Then he kissed her, and this time there was no hesitation, no fear, no hiding, just two people who'd found each other in loneliness and chose to fight for something real. 6 months later, Iris stood in front of the floor-length mirror in her new apartment, a space that actually felt like home with natural light and a view of the city she was finally learning to love, adjusting the collar of her dress. Navy blue, simple, elegant. Tonight was important. For you look beautiful, Marcus said from the doorway. She turned, her heart still skipping a beat every time she saw him like this, relaxed, smiling, free from the weight he'd carried for so long. "You're biased," she said. "Absolutely." He crossed the room, wrapping his arms around her waist. "Doesn't make it less true." She leaned into him, breathing in his familiar scent. 6 months since the rooftop. 6 months since he'd resigned. 6 months since they'd stopped hiding. It hadn't been easy. The media had been relentless at first. Billionaire CEO resigns after office romance. The headlines painted her as a homewrecker, a gold digger, a corporate climber who'd seduced her way to the top. It stung. But Marcus stood beside her through all of it, did interviews, set the record straight, told their story among the real story about two lonely people who'd found connection through honest words. Slowly, the narrative shifted, and eventually, people moved on to the next scandal. Iris returned to Sullivan Enterprises. The marketing position Marcus had mentioned opened up exactly when he'd said it would. She applied, interviewed, got it on her own merit, and she was thriving. Her campaigns were innovative, successful. She'd already been promoted once. Her team respected her. Her work spoke for itself. No one questioned whether she'd earned her place anymore. And Marcus, he was lighter now, freer. He'd started consulting for sustainable businesses, using his expertise to help companies that actually aligned with his values. He mentored young entrepreneurs. He wrote essays about leadership and vulnerability that went viral. He was building a life that felt authentic, and they were building something together. A relationship that wasn't perfect but was real, built on honesty, trust, and the willingness to fight for each other, even when it was hard. "Ready?" Marcus asked, pressing a kiss to her temple. "As I'll ever be." Tonight, they were attending a charity gala. Sullivan Enterprises was one of the sponsors, and Marcus had been invited as a guest of honor, his first public appearance at a company event since his resignation, and Iris was going with him, not as his secret, not as his hidden shame, but as his partner. The ballroom was stunning. Crystal chandeliers, champagne towers, Seattle's elite mingling in designer gowns and tailored suits. Iris felt out of place, but Marcus's hand in hers kept her grounded. "Breathe," he murmured. "You belong here." "Do I?" "More than most of these people," he smiled. "You actually earned your way. They just inherited theirs." She laughed despite her nerves. They made their way through the crowd. Some people stared, others whispered. A few approached with genuine warmth, congratulating Marcus on his new ventures, complimenting Iris on her recent campaign success. And slowly, she relaxed. Halfway through the evening, Geneva appeared, Marcus's former assistant, now promoted to executive coordinator. "Miss Monroe," Geneva said with a rare smile, "there's someone who'd like to meet you." She gestured toward a striking woman in her 30s with dark hair and Marcus's eyes. His sister, Charlotte. Iris's stomach flipped. "Relax," Marcus whispered. "She'll love you." Charlotte approached, her expression assessing but not unkind. "So you're the one who broke through my brother's walls," Charlotte said. I suppose so." "Good." Charlotte's smile widened. "Someone needed to. He was unbearable before you." "Charlotte," Marcus warned. "What? It's true." She turned to Iris. "He was a workaholic robot. No life, no joy, just spreadsheets and board meetings. You made him human again." Iris felt her cheeks warm. "I think he did that himself." "Maybe." Charlotte's eyes softened. "But you gave him a reason to try." That matters. They talked for a while, Charlotte telling embarrassing childhood stories, Marcus groaning in protest, Iris laughing until her sides hurt. It felt like family, real family, the kind Iris had always dreamed of, but never had. Later, as the evening wound down, Marcus pulled Iris onto the dance floor. "I don't really dance," she protested. "Neither do I." He wrapped his arms around her. "But I want to hold you, and this is socially acceptable." She laughed, relaxing into him as they swayed to the music. Around them couples danced, people watched. The world kept spinning. But in that moment, it was just them. "I have something for you," Marcus said quietly. "Marcus, you just bought me this dress. It's not material." He pulled back slightly, his expression serious. "It's a question." Her heart stuttered. "What kind of question?" "The kind I've been wanting to ask for months but kept chickening out on." "You? Chicken out?" "You make me nervous." His smile was soft. "In the best way." He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out an envelope. Iris's breath caught. A letter. Of course. "I know we live together now," Marcus said. "I know I can just talk to you, but some things feel more real when they're written down." With trembling hands, Iris opened it. "My Iris. I'm not good at this. At feelings, at romance, at knowing the right words to say, but I'm good at letters, at being honest on paper. So here it is. You saved me. Not from anything dramatic, no burning buildings or fatal diseases. You saved me from a life of loneliness, from going through the motions without ever really living. You saw me when I was invisible. You heard me when I was silent. You fought for us when I was too afraid. And now I want to spend the rest of my life fighting for you. I want to write you letters when we're old. I want to hold your hand through hard times and celebrate with you in good ones. I want to build something real with you, not perfect, but honest. So I'm asking, will you marry me? Not because it's expected, not because of timing or pressure or anything except this. I love you, and I want everyone to know it. Forever." Marcus Iris looked up, tears streaming down her face. Marcus was on one knee, right there in the middle of the dance floor with hundreds of people watching. In his hand was a ring, simple, elegant, perfect. "I know this is public," he said, his voice shaking slightly. "I know you might hate me for proposing in front of all these people, but I spent so long hiding what you meant to me, and I don't want to hide anymore." Iris couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, could only stare at this man who'd started as a stranger, became her pen pal, her boss, her secret, her love. "Iris Monroe," Marcus said, his eyes locked on hers. "Will you marry me?" The ballroom had gone silent. Everyone was watching, waiting. And Iris realized something. She didn't care. Didn't care about the audience, the judgment, the whispers. Because this was real, this was love. The messy, complicated, beautiful kind that was worth fighting for. "Yes," she whispered. Then louder. "Yes." Marcus's face transformed. He stood, slipping the ring onto her finger, then kissed her like she was oxygen. The ballroom erupted in applause, but Iris barely heard it, because in that moment, wrapped in Marcus's arms, she finally understood what home felt like. Not a place, not security or safety or comfort, but this, being seen, being chosen, being loved, for exactly who she was. Later that night, back in their apartment, curled up on the couch with her head on Marcus's chest, Iris traced the ring on her finger. "I can't believe you proposed in front of everyone," she murmured. "Too much?" "No." She smiled. "It was perfect. Very un-CEO-like of you. Good, I'm done being that guy." He kissed her forehead. "Now I'm just the guy who loves you." "Just that? It's enough." And it was. More than enough. They sat in comfortable silence, listening to the rain against the windows. That Seattle rain that used to make everything feel gray and heavy. But now it just sounded peaceful. "Marcus?" Iris said softly. "Thank you." "For what?" "For being brave enough to write to a stranger. For being honest, for fighting." She looked up at him. "For choosing me." His eyes were soft, full of love. "Always," he said. "I'll always choose you." And as they sat there, two people who'd found each other through loneliness and letters, Iris realized something. Some love stories don't start with fireworks. They start with vulnerability, with honesty, with someone brave enough to say, "I'm lonely," and someone kind enough to say, "Me too." They start with ink on paper and words from the heart, and sometimes, if you're lucky, they end with forever. Sometimes the richest love isn't bought with money or status. It's earned through honesty, through vulnerability, through being brave enough to fight for something real, even when the world tells you it's impossible. Marcus and Iris proved that connection matters more than power. That choosing love over fear is always worth it. That sometimes the person you're meant to find out is hiding in plain sight. So I have to ask you, have you ever fallen for someone you thought you couldn't have? Someone the world said was wrong for you? What did you do? Did you fight for them? Or did you let fear win? And here's the bigger question. If you found letters from a stranger who understood your deepest loneliness, would you have the courage to meet them? Would you risk everything for a chance at real connection? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your story. Have you ever hidden a relationship? Ever felt invisible until someone truly saw you? Your story matters, and someone out there needs to hear it tonight. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button. It helps more people find stories like this when they need them most. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another emotional journey about love, redemption, and second chances. Because everyone deserves a reminder that real love exists, that vulnerability is strength, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is write your truth and hope someone understands. Thank you for being here, for listening, for feeling. Now go write your own love story, the real, messy, beautiful kind. You deserve it.